Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Anita. You're riding in the car with the Chiro from Mylon Family Chiropractic Center. So this week I wanted to talk to you about those cracking sounds. Those cracking sounds you get when you pop your fingers, right? Got them. I hope you can hear that, right? The quote-unquote cracking sounds when you get a chiropractic adjustment. So I had a couple of new folks come in this week, and they were telling me about how they turn their head and their neck pops and cracks, and that, twisting their back, they get this popping, cracking sound. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about what that's all about. So first of all, the cracking sound is not a good or bad thing. It just is nitrogen gas shifting, right? So when I open up this joint right here, what happens is nitrogen gas likes to move around. It's highly volatile. And it makes a little popping sound when it jumps into that little space there. The same thing is when you turn your head and you get pop, 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 or if you turn your spine. When people say that their neck is jacked up, hey, Sansrub, or their back is jacked up and they, make a turn and they get a pop, they feel a release, that release is the nitrogen gas. Here's the thing, it's not the same as a chiropractic adjustment. Why? Because when your spine is doing that independently, what's happening is there's a segment that's actually stuck, and the segment that's not stuck is hypermobile or moves too much, and it is constantly shifting and shifting and shifting to make up for the fact that there's a segment that's really, really stuck. And so that nitrogen gas is constantly shifting around as a result of that bone being what we call hypermobile. Hypermobile joints is not a good thing because each segment in your spine is designed to move a certain percentage of degree so that that entire area of your spine has full mobility. So you don't have the same range of motion at, say, right up here in the upper neck that you do in your lower neck. That's not how the body's designed. So when you get those popping sounds, independent of a chiropractic adjustment, it's just nitrogen gas moving about, and typically because of a hypermobile segment. It's not good or bad. Just like when you go to the chiropractor and you get a chiropractic adjustment, sometimes we'll get really loud sounds and sometimes we won't. I have to be honest, as a chiropractor, I love those sounds. I love it not only when I'm adjusting your spines, but I absolutely love it when my spine's getting adjusted, because after these calls, I always go to my chiropractor. So, I don't know. I'm addicted to it. I can't help myself. I love that sound, right? So, when a chiropractor makes an adjustment, we're restoring normal function to the spine and nervous system. Sometimes there is gas buildup in that area. Yeah, it's gas. It's not like methane gas that we have when we have flatulence, but it's gas that, hey, Heartlands, it's gas that builds up normally in our body. And when we shift that bone, there's a space created where it was, and that nitrogen gas jumps into that space and makes a popping sound. So it's a really cool sound to me. Some of my patients who've been coming to me for years and years and years absolutely hate that sound. I'm not in charge of that sound, unfortunately, so I can't stop it. Just like when you have flatulence or farts, you can't always squeeze it back. It's coming out, right? So I can't control the sound that happens as a result of that, but I do love it. Hey, Samantha, welcome. But I do love that sound. I have lots of patients that go, Doc, I didn't get any sound there. Well, let me explain a little bit about this. So that sound also has to do with how much tissue resistance that sound has to go through in order for us to get it. So the nitrogen gas is always there, right? It's always, always, always going to be there. However, when you have a larger tissue that it has to go through, like in the lower back pelvis area, we might not always get that sound. It is much louder, it appears to be much louder up here in the upper neck area. Why? Well, number one, because of tissue resistance, we have less tissue, hopefully, up here than we do down at our lower back and waist area. But number two, it's because it's closer to our ears, so we can hear it more. So it tends to be louder. Just like when I adjust somebody's TMJ, temporomandibular joint, man, it's right here at the ear, and it makes a huge clunking sound. And my goodness, it's way louder than a sound effect that I will get in the lower back. It does not indicate a good or bad adjustment. It is just a sound of that nitrogen gas shifting about, because temporomandibular joint is a joint, and when I have to make an adjustment to the TMJ, it can also move about nitrogen gases because there's a cartilaginous disc here at the TMJ, so it can make a pop sound. So when people come in and they talk to me, this past week I had a couple of new folks coming in talking about, I just roll my neck and I get these pop sounds. I get a relief from that. It's because the segment that's moving too much, kind of got a little stuck and you helped it move, but the segment that's creating that hypermobility hasn't been addressed yet. And thank goodness they came into my office so that we can figure out exactly why it's not moving, what happened as a result of it not moving, and more importantly, get that corrected so that the brain and the body can talk to one another and your body can perform at its best. So that's what we're talking about today. Those sound effects, those pops, those crack sounds. Yeah, I like them. You can call them crack. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Call it what you want. It's nitrogen gas. It's not a good or bad sound. It is just nitrogen gas. And I hope that we get that sound when I work on you, because I love it. You might not love it, but I love it. So, hey, Bridget, welcome. So when you go to the chiropractor, if you're not a patient in my practice and you go to your chiropractor, we get those popping sounds. We're kind of excited about it. Don't be freaked out about it. We didn't break your neck. We didn't break your back. We didn't break your bones. All we're doing is moving that bone so that we can restore normal communication between the brain and the body, so that the body can work and heal and do what it was designed to do, which is function at 100% of your full capacity so that you can be as healthy as you were designed to be, right? Not good or bad. Just a fun sound for us chiropractors to listen to, and some people like it anyway. So that's our thought for today. Cracking in the spine, whether the chiropractor helps induce it or you induce it by popping your knuckles. I do that, especially when I'm working out. I was at the gym this morning. My hands felt kind of jammed up. So I did my release in my fingertips before I was working out this morning. Not good or bad, just felt kind of good. If you turn your head and it pops, it's okay. If you find that you're getting a lot of popping sounds, there's a lot of instability being addressed that's going on in your neck or your back, and that is certainly an indicator for you to go get your spine and nervous system checked by your local chiropractor. If I'm not your chiropractor, I want to be your chiropractor. I want to take care of you and your family. I want to make sure that you guys are working and performing at your very best so that you can be as healthy as you were destined to be. Right on. So this is Dr. Anita. You've been riding in the car with the Chiro. I will not be checking in next week. I got something going on, so I won't be here next week. So if you have any thoughts you want me to talk about, you got any topics you want to learn about, I'd love to address that with you. Please drop me a line, leave me a message, DM me, message me, call my office, whatever you got to do. Let me know what you'd like to hear about. I got a ton of topics that I've been writing up to talk to you about, but I want to make sure I'm addressing the topics you want to hear about. So thanks so much for joining me. You've been riding in the car with the Chiro. Have a fantastic, blessed day. I'll see you on the next ride.